Welcome to another episode of the Black Tower Podcast. Thank you for lining up in an orderly fashion to receive your next dose of tainty goodness inside your ears.
You know one person who's not lined up properly?
Our Bijan Mahale is dismissed from duties this evening.
No, he's not actually dismissed from duties this evening. He just has different duties.
It's time for me to get some better duties. That's what he wanted, some better duties.
Yes. No, he's over there on Wheel and Chill tonight doing their recording. He is being our tower representative over there with the tavern full of Taviran and the XDs full of critters.
And the inns full of wine spring?
Something like that.
Oh, this last one has matcha in it.
Gross.
You know what that means? Gotta wash it down with my good friend of Sailor.
Should have eaten them in the opposite order.
I should have. That would have been smart.
Didn't know that. Now you do. You learn something new every day.
Yep, it's true. Welcome to the BTP ASMR segment, where I prepare fresh taint. Have it cold and ready.
Pour one out for the homies.
For the homies. So tonight, Daniel and I are going to do our best to have a good episode without the 85% of the tower present. As we know, it's Andrew. It's always been Andrew. But I'm sure if our Bijan Mahale were here, he'd say something like this. And for those of you listening, I just made a really stern look on my face.
Yeah, no, definitely
Yeah.
And then he'd look around surreptitiously, and then he'd stand up and go make a drink.
And then we nailed it. We got it.
I don't know if it was exactly
all
last time that we had Andrew gone, the episode got lost, but it's definitely not happening this time. Because to be fair to the person who was making the recording last time, Daniel, we were actually doing it differently because the guest at that time was hoping that we could do everything through Discord, and I just didn't have my settings right to do it through Discord.
Yeah.
When we're doing it through Zoom, I'm 100% fine with that. I don't have any issues.
You know,
it's actually it's all good.
I'm also going to say that it was partially the guest. I'm pretty sure the White Cloaks were sabotaging us on that episode. I think they did it on purpose.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, you guys are here. Do you guys want to know what we're talking about? Do you guys want to hear the things? Well, too bad, because you didn't go to blacktowerpod.com yet.
What?
You haven't done it yet.
Why haven't you done that?
We can't start the show until you go to Black Tower Pod and check out all the goodness, all the tainty goodness the Black Tower Podcast has to offer. You want sweet Black Tower Podcast merch? Boom, it's there. You want to see upcoming events? Boom, it's there. You want to see our last 5 episodes on YouTube? Boom, it's there. You want to post in the forums? Boom, also there. You want to become a Patreon? There's a link there. You want to join our Discord? There's a link there. And if you join the Patreon, we put your name up there all fancy like. Unless you want to be anonymous, then we put redacted or sealed to the tower.
Sealed to the redacted.
Sealed to the redacto. I feel like that's a Harry Potter spell. Redacto.
I would absolutely. Reducto is.
I don't
know whether redacto is, but it definitely feels like
it should be.
It feels like it should be, especially because there's like a through line in the Harry Potter movies that pronunciation is incredibly important.
Harry took like 5 shots of giggle juice before he did that.
I've had so much butterbeer today. I'm going to diagonal.
And I do love there is that scene in the Deathly Hallows where Harry gets the new wand and he's like, oh, let's look at it on the fire, the little candle flame. And it's like, what? Renekton! He does it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good. I like it.
I also love the scene where he's just super high on the Felix Felicis in episode or in movie 6.
It's perfect. It's perfect, really. Okay.
Indeed.
So yeah, blacktowerpod.com. Go there. You know you want to. It's amazing. It's awesome.
And after you have gone to blacktowerpod.com, you're going to want to head on over to whatcon.com.
Whatcon.com.
And check that out. All of the specific discords are not up yet for whatcon.com because we definitely want things to settle down from JordanCon first.
Which is, if you're listening to us live, it's in 2 weeks. If you're listening to us not live, it's in 2 days? Is that going to be?
Yeah, it started today.
Yeah,
if you're listening to this,
happy JordanCon
happy
Day.
JordanCon.
No, it's getting ready to get started because it'll post on the 15th, and JordanCon is the 21st. So if you're listening to this not live, it is April the 15th.
You're right. It's a week from today.
JordanCon is almost there.
No, you're right. I forgot for a second how delayed we are.
Yes.
Because last Tuesday's recording will come up this Friday.
Yes.
This week's recording will come up next Friday. Yep. Nope. That makes sense.
Correct. So get your bags packed.
So you do actually have some time. Yeah.
But also
leaving on a jet plane. You go to JordanCon 2020.
Yeah.
2022.
And then in July. So if you can't go to JordanCon, fine. We get it. It's okay. Go.
Well, also, if all of the tickets were already sold out, we're very sorry. And we love you. And you should definitely get fastered for next year. But we do understand.
Also, come to the hotel without a ticket.
Correct.
And hang out with Matt Hatch, the innkeeper who does CouchCon, in the lobby. And then that in the evening, there's lots and lots of JordanCon water and parties that you can still attend.
Correct. Yep. JordanCon water being the supernatural spring water that comes from Atlanta. That will definitely not have you making lots of bad decisions.
Or slurring your speech in front of Maria.
Yep.
Among other things. Okay.
Among other things.
So JordanCon's coming up. WhatCon is going to come up. And guys, WhatCon's going to be so much fun. It really is. It is an inaugural event. So it means it's the first one. I did a big word. And it is
not a big word.
By the fans, for the fans. There were a lot of content creators that kind of went in together, put this together. We did a Kickstarter. We did a GoFundMe.
It was a GoFundMe, yeah.
And paid for by the fans. So
slammed that goal.
It was great
to you guys.
So this is by the fans for the fans. It's going to be fantastic. And for any of you who have concerns about it, it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be what?
Fantastic.
You're terrible.
I am.
So here, we're going to get real ghetto. Give me just a second. I'm going to figure this out real quick.
Should I keep talking about things while you do that?
Yeah, go ahead for just a moment. It's not going to take me long, but it's definitely going to take me a moment. Oh boy.
What was that?
That was my computer deciding that it liked me.
Hey, what's up, computer?
Oh, hush. Stop telling me I have Discord messages.
Hey guys, stop messaging in the Discord.
No. You guys keep messaging in the Discord. I just turned my volume down so that. All right.
You have to turn. Okay.
I'm doing it the ghetto version, so give me a second. All right.
Okay, we're
so, ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about our topic today, we have the illustrious Gleeman's Apprentice giving us that super duper wet and super spoiler warning. So make sure that you have your spoiler condoms all ready to go, because you're gonna want to put them on right.
The Black Tower stands fully erect.
When the tower is bulging at full erectness, you must protect yourself from tainty spoilers.
Your spoiler condom must cover the immense girthiness of all 14 books of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time,
with an itty-bitty tip at the top for the prequel New Spring.
If your condom is too small, you will get tainty spoiler jizz all up in your eye.
Or ears.
You have been warned.
And there
boom.
You have been warned.
Do you know what I love about the term "you have been warned"? Every time I hear it, all I can think of is Michael Kramer saying it. In the spoiler recording we have for him, and
you have been warned.
And it's just he's so beautiful,
right?
I love him so much. He's such a good guy.
No, he's very good.
Now that we've warned you of the spoilers that are to come, now we must tell you about the discussion we will be having. Do you want to reveal it, or should I reveal it?
I'll do it.
You want to do it? Okay,
let's do it.
Okay.
So, just to let you know, the head of this, actually, here, let's take a step back for just a moment. Here at the Black Tower, we like to go very in depth into certain things in the world of the Wheel of Time. We like to tell you a little bit more about certain characters, aspects, nationalities, chosen professions, all of that, in the Wheel of Time, so that we know a little bit more about it, so that you know it a little bit more about it, so that everybody knows a little bit more about it. Today is no exception. So before I tell you exactly what we're talking about, I want to tell you right now, the head of this particular organization, as it stands right now, the leader, the most impressive sitter, who is also the one who gets to make all of the end decisions for this particular group of people in our age, is the wonderful, the amazing, the man of the year, Anthony Fauci. You know why? Because today we're going to be talking about a background breakdown of the Yellow Ajah.
that was a rough segue, man.
Healing the people. Avoiding infectious
Is he the Surgeon
diseases.
General?
What?
Is he the Surgeon General?
I don't think he actually
I would think the Surgeon General would probably be a better parallel.
No, not right now.
Well, okay. Politics aside, the position as it was intended.
Yes. Any time prior to COVID, sure, but
so the Yellow Ajah. We know the Yellow Ajah is one of 7 organizations at the White Tower. Right?
Correct.
And each of these organizations have their specialties. And the Yellow Ajah has a particularly wonderful specialty, and that is of the healing.
Correct.
The healers. They are the healing Ajah. They work in things of the body and in the mind. They want to heal the world, make it a better place
though
for
mostly
you
the body.
and for me. and the entire human race. But the cool thing is about the Yellow Ajah, I think they've got some really interesting sort of points that I'm really kind of excited to get into.
Well, let's go into some facts right
Yes.
at the first. The yellow is the 5th largest Ajah in the White Tower. It is behind the brown for members, but also before the blue. In the Ajah, there are around 120 members prior to the last battle, like just prior to the last battle. There is also not very many Black sisters that have pervaded into the yellow. There are around 21 Black sisters. We only learn about 8 during the books. The nationality of non-historical Aes Sedai that we know of and that we learn, there are 4 from Arafel and or Tyr, 3 Galdinians, 2 Andorans, Saldeans, Shinarans, and Taraboners. 1 Altaran, Amadisian, Carrion, and Farmadding in Ilian or Kandoran or Mirundian, and none from Aridoman or Mayan. And then there are 16 that we don't know.
It's kind of interesting, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. I actually, I take that back. I feel like the Mayanners and or the Aridomani are like just naturally green.
You know,
in fact, Liana, like literally switches, not from yellow to green, but from blue to green, because she's like, nah.
Of the two, those now. 2 nations are like definitely like willing to cut a bitch. Like,
oh yeah,
long before they'll be like, oh, you got hurt? Sucks to be you. Shouldn't have been stupid.
The best part is they're absolutely the ones who are spreading STIs, not healing them.
Oh,
and the ones who are also murdering people, not bringing them back from the dead.
Well, you know, it's interesting though, because you've got, well, let's finish up with the thing. So the head of the Yellow Ajah is known as the First Weaver.
Correct.
Okay. Then there are a few sitters. Let's see. The First Weaver is in our story is Suana Dragand.
Mm-hmm.
And the sitters for the yellow is Dosin Alwain, Magla Daranos, and Romanda Cassin. Now, interesting that the only one with an S name is Suana Dragand.
Oh,
is that interesting?
It is.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of those is an imposter.
An imposter?
No. It's not. Who was? Let's see. So there are several Amrylin seats of the Yellow Ajah. We do
Correct.
have 3. Katala Lucanvale, Alvera Ramosanya, and Marcele Jurin.
I want to know which one of those are actually supposed to be said in a Spanish accent and which ones are not. Because you just did all of them in a Spanish accent, like regardless of.
That was my energy right there.
Yes.
That's what I was channeling.
Because I feel like Catala Lucanvale. That's like
could be more like
Germanic.
Italian.
Or maybe Italian. Italiano. Catala Lucanvale.
Catala. Hey, it could be Catala.
It could be Catala.
Catala. Hey, they got the Lucanvale. Lucanvale. Okay.
Indeed.
So then we do have lots and lots of known Yellow Ajah. One of the most famous
that guy is from is actually super fun.
Yes. One of the most famous, of course, is our girl, Nynaeve. Oh, not only is she our girl Nynaeve, because she's like a boss bitch, like, get it, girl. But she also comes in as a wilder, and a lot of people look down on her. They're like, hey, she's a wilder. What the hell does she know? Nothing. She's stupid. But
Dumb bitch.
she kind of goes in and says, I'm going to do
And
my
then
own
she
thing.
goes, oh, I'm a dumb bitch? Y'all motherfuckers are dumb.
Right, though? She comes in and she's like, because if there's one thing Nynaeve is never short on, it's confidence. Even when she needs to be a little bit more humble, she's like, no, I got this. And you're like, no, you really don't, sweetheart. You really need to not. And then she's like, but I'm gonna anyway. And it's like,
and
all right.
Normally she does, and that's like the most annoying part. Because, like, again, I'm not saying that I don't want Nynaeve to be fantastic, because she should be, and she is, and yes. But there are definitely a handful of times where you're like, but if she could just like not succeed quite as hard when she shouldn't have done that thing, that would also be a little nice.
Yep. The Yellow Ajah, they look down on using like herbs and things like that, so they don't really study the use of herbs as any common village wisdom or healer would. They kind of
herbs and spices from
they don't do
the
that.
Age of Legends.
Yeah, that's right. They're not into that. They don't mess with that. So they do kind of a that's their sort of contribution, I think, to the Aes Sedai arrogance, right? That they're going, we heal with the one power. We are no common wisdom. Okay. We use the one power. Okay. There's also the Yellow Aes Sedai who healed oh gosh, what's his name? He was loyal to Rand, and he was nearly assassinated.
Dobrain,
yeah.
Lord Dobrain.
And who was that? Who healed him?
I'm pretty sure you would need to actually look that up, because I don't know specifically. She's definitely not in the Yellow Ajah breakdown.
There are also I believe it was the same one who healed Rand, isn't it?
That would not surprise me. Let me look it up. Hold on. Yes.
Samitsu Tamagawa. She is considered to be one of the best healers at the time that the story commences.
Correct.
And I really need to put up another curtain.
Yeah, apparently. Or just a better, more blackout.
Blinded by the light. Hold on, I'm gonna do it real quick. You take over.
Okay. Yellows are known for being particularly self-assured. It is often commented that they take great care with their appearance, which actually kind of surprises me a little bit, but at the same time, makes some sense. They have been described as flamboyant in a way thus similar to the Green Sisters. They are often thought by other Ajahs to be arrogant, and they also believe that theirs is the only Ajah with a useful purpose, which is kind of a dick move.
Again, it's an element of Aes Sedai arrogance.
Yeah. No, definitely. I absolutely thought that, would have thought that the Yellows were not particularly flamboyant. That's not something that I specifically got from the story, from the books.
I don't know about flamboyant, but I do like the description that they're well maintained in their appearance. Because that
care with their appearance.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But flamboyant is definitely something I don't know if I actually got from the books.
I can name one flamboyant yellow sister. Well, but she's not really a yellow sister, so I guess it doesn't count.
Okay.
Amiko Nagoyan, who we know is hiding in the Yellow Ajah as a
Yes.
Black Ajah.
Yes.
And she has a great fondness for cats and likes
Yes.
healing stray cats. And she goes to great lengths to have a horde of cats. It's the Wheel of Time's version of a crazy cat lady.
Right.
But one particularly terrifying thing about a Black Ajah sister hiding in the Yellow Ajah is that you learn, they say that in order to know how to heal the body, you must know how to destroy the body.
Right.
That kind of a thing. It's like the old kung fu movie trope. And there's some truth to that. I mean, when she has just that really great understanding of the anatomy, and she can be like, she does the little Xena warrior princess death touches with the power, and you're like, paralyzed. It's scary. It's scary stuff, man.
Oh yeah. No, definitely yellows are the ones that I'm most scared of, if you will. In like a one-on-one situation. Definitely in like a battle. Obviously, you definitely have your greens. Definitely you have your, blues, who seem to be a little more like, battle focused.
Right.
But definitely the last Ajah of sister that you want torturing you is a yellow.
Facts.
Facts.
Fun fact with the Yellow Ajah, they use primarily air and water with their healing weaves, right? It's air and water, right? They're like, hey, air and water and maybe some spirit. Let's get up in here and heal some bitches.
Is that a quarterback for a football team?
Now all I can picture is the Yellow Ajah sister like throwing a quarterback at someone. Be healed. But also there's a joke there, right? About like splashing water on someone. Be healed.
Mm-hmm. No, there definitely is.
Robert Jordan was so brilliant with some of these subjects, and I wonder if like he ever like hears some of the connections that we make, and he goes, "Wow, guys, you're really biting into that, aren't you?" But no, it just that was just what I thought. But I'm gonna go with.
I'm sure he used to. He definitely doesn't anymore.
Well, I mean, touche. And now I have a sad.
Yeah.
So air and water. And this is part of the reason why Nynaeve gains so much renown, aside from being the most powerful Aes Sedai in living memory. She goes in to do some healing or do some self-study with the healing, and she starts using all 5 of the powers to do,
and they go no,
and they're like,
do that.
We don't do that here.
Yep.
And she's like, bitch, I'll do it however I want to. And they're like, no, you can't do that. And so it actually helps her a lot in the beginning, because it really pisses her off that she can only do it with air and water. And so she's able to channel because she's angry all the time.
Mm.
But it's a really fun thing that when she's able to start studying herself, and she's able to start using all of the flows in order to start, producing greater weaves of healing, this actually creates kind of an interesting sort of a crux for me, because that's not the right word for it, but this creates an interesting situation, because Samitsu is said to be the best healer, so named by Codswain, and Nynaeve obviously is the best healer.
Sure.
First off, like in skill of healing, we know Nynaeve is better. How much better is Nynaeve than Samitsu? Is it like 3 degrees to 10 degrees?
I'm gonna say that is an unfortunate non sequitur, because I think that Nynaeve is better at healing, but she's also the one who's willing to break the rules. As soon as Samitsu learns how to do what Nynaeve is doing, I don't know if Nynaeve is actually better than Zenitsu, if that makes sense.
No, and that's exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Because Zenitsu has the practiced hand, the capability with those finer weaves. I mean, would Nynaeve have saved Dobrain? I cannot say with confidence that she would have. Because as it is, Zenitsu was like, he's barely there.
If I heal him anymore, I will kill him by using the energy needed, and he doesn't have it.
She will snuff out the spark in him.
Yep.
And so it's just kind of like, that's it's one of the few Ajahs where you can really draw these sort of comparisons, because the yellows focus on the delicacy of the weaves and therefore are much more trained in how fine the weaves are, how precise the weaves are.
Yes.
Live chat's going nuts. If you're not on our Patreons tuning in for the live chat, you're missing out. Just saying.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's definitely it is one of those interesting things where in the tower there are not a lot of opportunities to actually compare yourself other than just strength in the one power. Because there aren't a whole lot of opportunities, and by a whole lot I mean pretty much none opportunities to throw fireballs around and be like, okay, who can actually produce the biggest fireball, or like the most accurate fireball, or like hit the target with lightning super accurately. There isn't a whole lot of like, sure, you are the gray sister who actually has helped form the most treaties, but also how many of the other gray sisters even got a chance to do that, or was it just you? Again, same thing with how many men who can channel have you captured and gentled? How many other red sisters were actually sent on those expeditions? Like, it's definitely a whole thing of, you start to get into opportunity with people. But with healing, I feel like there is enough opportunity, especially like with the warders and the just, Tarvalon citizens just getting hurt from general everyday life.
Well, and they always have the doors open, to bring the sick, and they're like, hey, come exactly. and we will heal you. And they take a couple of coins, and and things are good. Like, I would actually say they're probably the only Ajah who gets to practice their craft on the daily.
Yep.
With practical application.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's very important.
Yeah. Because, and as we discussed with like the Green Ajah, they don't have the ability to just throw combat weaves at each other all day because of their binding by the oath rod.
And you don't necessarily have a treaty to go ahead and finagle every day, and you don't. I mean, Browns.
There's not men who can channel popping up every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would probably say that the Browns are the other Ajah where you and it's not even one power related necessarily.
Yeah,
it's just mission oriented with what they've decided that they would like to do with the Ajah that they are focused, or with their Ajah focus. So
yeah, that's blues, obviously, but again, their focus is not necessarily one power driven. So as far as an Ajah whose skills in the one power, like who they get to practice the one power on the daily, that's probably only the Yellow Ajah.
Yep. Because let's be honest, the other craft that the Green Ajahs focus on, they definitely have the opportunity to do that every day. But as stated, it's not one power related. It's sex at times related.
All right. Yeah, no, that's yeah, it here's another interesting thing too. What about Aes Sedai who have a healing talent?
What about them?
Now we've discussed a talent. What is a talent? Earlier in the show's history. So if you want to go do that, you can see that. I believe that was Malkiri Rob was on with us. Or we were on with him. One of the two.
Power my logic indeed.
Whoa.
I
love how we're talking about the Yellow Ajah and the chat is not talking about the Yellow Ajah.
We didn't require them to do so.
It's true.
It's just our topic today.
It is true. It is true. It is our topic, not
actually
your topic.
You know topic. What? I take that back. It is their topic as well, but they're talking very specifically about sexual healing. What
when I
timing?
Get the feeling,
what fucking timing?
Healing, sexual.
Yeah, that's healing. The gift that just came up, buddy.
So good. So good. So good. The Yellow Ajah does have a network. Oh, talents. I was going with talents. I don't believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe there are any Aes Sedai listed in the story who have any talents pertaining particularly to healing.
I agree with that in that they are not described as such. I think that there are at least a number of them who have one of two things, which is either a lowercase t talent for it, just generally, or a capital T talent that just feels like it works so well with healing that nobody really takes it as being a separate thing, just because healing is so broad. But I would actually say that the Yellow Ajah is probably where a number of talents are. Given
what would be a talent?
Broken bones. Like you can actually heal broken bones. Like it would be the same thing as like Andril with gateways.
Sure.
That's what I'm suggesting, is that there are pieces of the body that there are yellows out there who just
click.
Just fucking know.
Interesting.
Like if you go to X person because you have a broken bone, it's going to be perfect. If you go to this other person, you're going to know when it's going to rain soon because your joints will hurt or whatever.
Yeah,
but if you go to this person, perfection.
No more.
If you go to this person for a bruise, you'll never be able to tell it existed. If you go to this person for a bruise, it'll just turn yellow, like that kind of thing.
So Yellow Ajah sisters with a talent are basically just like medical doctor specialists.
Basically. Go to this person for your OBGYN, go to this person for your vision, go to this person for your nether regions, go to this person. Actually, Iris, I think that is one of the places where the yellows really drop the ball, because I think that, with the exception of later on and very specifically with madness, not necessarily mental illness, even though madness is a mental illness, but it's brought on specifically by a cause that is outside of yourself. That's actually one of the areas that I think that the yellows do a really bad job with. There are no neurologist yellows, or at least it doesn't really feel like there are any neurologist yellows. It really feels like they just focus on the physical and they go, your brain will be fine. And you go, no, it won't.
Do you know what's really kind of interesting about that? Okay. Again, politics aside.
Sure.
Okay. There are medical documents that were recovered from Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Which was essentially Nazi documentation on people that they were torturing. And it was horrible and disgusting and terrible.
Really?
But there was a lot of information that medical professionals learned about the tolerances of the human body.
Oh, yeah.
The healing processes of the human body and things like that. Now, my segue into this, because I don't just mean to jump into a terrible, deep, dark topic like that. My segue into this is discussing one of the Forsaken, Grendel, who is considered to be one of the leading psychologists of her day.
Yep.
Using the one power.
Yep.
So how, like, is this a scenario? Is this a case in which Grendel's name was so tainted that they were just like, don't touch it, run away from it? There's nothing we can learn from it that's good. Go away. Regardless of the fact that at this
point, I'm pretty sure that Grendel's name is just tainted completely. Also, most of the rest of her body, most of the rest of the words that she uses are also tainted. Definitely the way that she decides to live her life feels very tainted.
I mean, yes. But the point being that, you know, even before her turn to the shadow, it almost feels like there should be something that survived that they would have wanted to use, but haven't. And I wonder, is that something that they said, no, we're not doing that? Or is that something that just they can't do that because it's just gone?
I would say that there's probably, you know, a number of, most people are in one of those two camps.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, even if there is something available, I'm not reading it because Grendel. And then there are a lot of other people who go, no, there isn't anything. She couldn't have possibly done anything good.
Well, and you know, they brought it up in chat as well. Semirog as well, one of the most gifted healers of all time, and she kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Amiko, where Semirog would purposely add pain to the healing process,
yes,
just to be a dick, because she liked it.
Yep.
I mean, like, that's a terrifying thing to be able to do. Like, yeah, come here, I'll heal you, and I'll make it hurt the whole time.
Yep.
And so, like, how now with Semirog, though, I can see it. I can see someone saying, that's nasty, I'm not doing that. Because any of her notes and documentation is probably going to be something similar to that. Yeah, here's how you heal a bruise, but make it hurt like a bitch the whole time. You know, I mean, so I don't know. It's an interesting place to be, because, as we also know too, his Aes Sedai are historically afraid of what they don't understand.
Truth.
And I feel like,
which, to be fair, that's just people, but also yes.
Well, and I feel like they're the Aes Sedai are like illustrated specifically in this fashion.
No. They're absolutely the height.
They're like the
avatar
of that concept.
Yes.
But I also do like, it is kind of an interesting thing, though, that there are no Aes Sedai willing to try and search through any of that research, if said research even exists anymore.
You know where it definitely exists?
Where does it exist?
Inside Grendel.
Inside Grendel. And Semirog.
And Semirog, yes.
Those two. Oh, okay. Apparently I'm cutting out.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Oh, all right. This is the raw, unfiltered you guys get. Okay, I'm gonna do a thing.
Do a thing.
Do a thing.
Do the thing, Josh Lee.
I'm doing the thing. Here's a thing I'm doing. Do do do. La ha 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 ha. I can't do the tongue thing.
Bruh.
I can try.
Dragon.
Oh
not
no!
lizard. I don't do that tongue thing.
That's why it's cutting out. I am so
Why?
sorry, guys. So my Zoom mic is my Yeti, but my Discord mic this entire time has been my webcam mic, and that must suck.
Gross.
Okay, guys, tell me, is it better now? Oh, son of a bitch. I am so sorry, everybody.
Yeah, Adalorna, anyone who's anyone does that tongue thing.
I do the tongue thing, but I'm no Vitas.
Yes. Well, you know who definitely very famously doesn't do that tongue thing, other than Mushu.
I was just gonna say Mushu.
But you know who very famously doesn't do that tongue thing? DJ
Khaled.
Another one, except not. I didn't even do the first one. Yes, also Snakes and Foxes Batman, according to the dumb people over at DC.
Oh, God. I do the alphabet. A is for Alfred. B is for bats.
C is for Catwoman, the one I'd like to be doing this on. All right. You said that there were a few things that you specifically wanted to talk about with the Yellow Ajah. Have we hit those? Should we? Do you feel like we should get into some of that stuff?
What's specific up? I believe we did, because there's like two things off the top of my head. One was the tie-in to the Forsaken, because that's scary.
Oh yeah.
You get the healing and killing portion all in the same thing, and then that was the segue into the second thing, which was you got a Miko who loves to heal cats and loves to hurt people, and she's really good at it because she knows how the physiology of the body works, and it's just scary.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Those were my things. Those are the things that I was happy about getting to.
Fair.
We can also mention too that healing as a talent, there are Aes Sedai who just can't.
That's true.
They're just like nope.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. Moraine is actually a pretty decent healer.
Well, Moraine is just a pretty.
She's good at everything.
All of the things.
Jack of all trades.
Specifically amazing, but she's definitely. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we like Moraine, is Jack of all trades, master of none, better than being a master of one.
Which is the full statement.
Correct.
Let's see. What else is there about the Yellow Ajah? Leave a comment right now. Tell me what is there about the Yellow. Oh, they have a network of eyes and ears.
Yeah,
the Yellow Ajah does. It's not as pronounced as the Blue Ajah. Obviously, the Red Ajah also has a decent network.
Well, but again, those are like those are very specifically places where you would really want eyes and ears of being able to hear about your spy network, because that's what Blues do well, and being able to hear about any fucking men who can channel anywhere at any time is necessary for the Reds. But then Yellow is kind of the next one down from that, about the hearing people who need your help.
And that's the thing, though. But what other situation would be beneficial to have a reliable, clear source of communication from a healing perspective?
Yeah.
Say if we were, I don't know, in the middle of a pandemic. Wouldn't that be nice to have the ability to communicate quickly and thoroughly and efficiently?
We do.
They don't.
No, but they do though.
In Randland?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not as good as ours, but you know what they also don't have? Tucker Carlson. So like
they do have plenty of
itself out.
I refuse that. I refuse to believe that. There is a Carrion and Lord with a bow tie screaming about sexy M&Ms.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a television show. That's the thing. He's
just a lord.
He's just another freak on the street with a bow tie rather than an Jesus Christ. I hate
my point being, if there are situations in which there are an unusually high number of injured, wounded, and or sick people, it is actually really beneficial for the Yellow Ajah to have a network of eyes and ears in order to make sure that they know what's going on in the world with regards to health. Now, this is another really kind of interesting thing.
All right.
Interestable thing that at one point in time, Nynaeve recognizes there's an informant for the Yellow Ajah, and they get drugged with fork root.
Yes.
And this is actually something I think is actually super fun, because the Yellow Ajah had no idea that fork root existed. And they were super irritated that they were like, what? What?
Yeah.
And it was interesting to me that you've got the network of eyes and ears, which of course eyes and ears are usually women who do not channel, so that they can avoid detection by other people, but they have signs and symbols and things that they do to be able to reach out to, to signal that they are an informant. In this particular case, Nynaeve recognizes some yellow flowers hanging upside down in a flower shop, and she goes, aha, I'm being trained by the Yellow Ajah. That is a Yellow Ajah informant. And the Yellow Ajah informant doesn't believe that they're Aes Sedai, because, yes, girl, you're a girl, you're not an Aes Sedai. And then they get drugged with fork root, and
That's
it's
not
really...
actually true.
What?
Buddy,
is that not the case?
You're adorable. No, at that time, Elida has already taken over the White Tower, and she has put out the report to look for Nynaeve specifically and the other two Wonder Girls. And so she actually does recognize them.
You are correct.
Goes, oh, not only are you not Yellow Ajah, but you're supposed
criminals.
to be brought back to the tower under penalty of beating.
You are correct.
I'm to do that with the fork root shit. And then they're like, hey, Julian, maybe don't suck as hard later. Like, you really fucked this up. Like,
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's the thing. But the point being,
it's Satella Anan who doesn't believe their eyes to die. It's
correct.
It's the eyes and ears that know exactly who they are, or this eye and ear, and who knows exactly who they are, and go,
you are correct.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things with when they go to Satella Anan, she's the one who takes him to the kin. And she's like, the kin is going to decide your fate. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I messed that one up. Thanks for being here.
No,
where were you, fact checker Mihail? Sheesh. Letting me talk, making me look like a dumb buddy. Look at that. He says he's busy. Oh, you're busy? You're too busy, buddy? Yes, so there is you use a yellow ribbon or yellow flower, something yellow,
Well, it's
and then when you
specifically yellow flowers of the broomweed plant tied with yellow ribbon.
Right. And then you have to
placed upside down.
You have to give the secret. And that's placed upside down is signifying that you have a message. That's what it was. And Nynaeve was like, they have a message. I shall go and hear this message to get news from the tower. And the message was catch Nynaeve. Right? That was it. Don't tell me I'm wrong again.
No, it's not that you're wrong. It's just what other reason would you have to signal the Aes Sedai? So they have one signal, which is I have message.
Right.
And it's this signal.
I have information.
Yes. Because otherwise you just wait for an Aes Sedai to come to you and go, hey, I need something. And then you give them what they're looking for. But if you have information or, this, that, or the other thing, then you go, the signal. Yes. I will put out the signal.
Not the bat signal, the Yellow Ajah signal.
Indeed. The flower signal.
I will say this. The Black Tower does not have an organization specifically dedicated to healing. However, we do have a pretty amazing healer.
Tower.
Who manages
is Dahmer Flynn.
Who manages with little to no training, manages to copy Nynaeve's, not copy, but also independently accomplish the feat of healing a stilling just because he didn't know he could.
Yep. Well, I do appreciate very much that both of them discover it accidentally. Because in the end, they're just jamming stuff in there. And finally, they find something that works and they go, oh, shit, nice.
Hey, that worked.
Yeah.
But that's going to go down. Jamming stuff in there is going to work really well with the chat right now, Daniel.
Yeah, no, I know. And of course, on one hand, I will admit that Nynaeve was very much focused on trying to heal in a particular kind of way. I feel like Dahmer was just throwing shit at the wall and just being like, what's gonna heal stilling? I don't know. There's a hole there that I can sense. So
hey, it worked.
First time.
I feel like if this was like a Rick and Morty and call out a Mr. Meeseeks and hey, Mr. Meeseeks, I need to know how to cure stilling. Ooh, can do. And then sit there for ever, and there's a bunch of Mr. Meeseeks trying to figure out how to cure stilling.
Yeah, I've not watched any of the Meeseeks episodes.
Oh,
I think that Rick and Morty is trash.
Oh, hot take.
Though I will say the show itself is not that bad. It's not good, but it's not that bad. But most Rick and Morty fans are actually the worst. Again, if you like the show, that's fine. But if you stand there and go, oh, you just don't think Rick and Morty's funny because you don't understand it, then it's like, no, I don't have your same sense of humor, you dick.
Which is a way of saying, Anyway, I will. Okay.
No. Say that again. Finish the statement. What was that? What? Huh?
I would argue that seeing as how Nynaeve and Dahmer Flynn both accomplished something independently,
yes,
that had not even been accomplished in the Age of Legends.
Sure.
I would state that both of them have a capital T talent for healing, and that's what a capital T talent looks like.
I disagree with that because it can be taught.
It can,
which means that it's a lower case T.
Gateways can be taught.
Correct. Which is why Androl has a lowercase t talent for it.
What?
Yeah. No, it's
hold on.
We talked about this in our talents episode.
We
and
did.
Uppercase T talent is something that you have inherently that you cannot pass on to anyone else.
Right.
And that they can't actually do something like the talent of foretelling. You can't teach someone to foretell. Not everyone is born with it. And if you can't foretell,
that's right.
Then you can't foretell. It's not even like you can do a lesser version of foretelling. You just can't do it at all. A lowercase t talent is something that you can teach other people, but you're better at it than anybody else.
Well, I would still say that Androl's, and maybe I'm changing my mind. Go back and look at our talent episode and tell me if I'm wrong and leave a comment below. I still think Androl has a capital T simply because he can channel so much less of the one power than anybody else can, and can still make gateways that are just ridiculously big. And there's no way that he didn't sit there in classes and say, this is how to weave a gateway. Look, do this. And everybody who can channel a whole, and there are some people who can't do gateways. They just can't.
Yes. They just can't figure it out. But again, it's not that they can't.
That's a good point, though.
I think that it's more about the fact that they just haven't figured out what they need to do. Because it's not that they physically can't.
Sure.
They just haven't mentally put together the pieces. Whereas, again, something like foretelling, something like dreaming. There are some people who can and some people who cannot.
Sure.
And you just are or you aren't. It's a binary.
And I believe
anything else is just you're either like supernaturally better at it, but everybody else can do it. Right. Or in the case of the healing stilling, it's once people know how to do it, the vast majority of people can do it. They just didn't put it together.
They start learning how to do it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. This is a Yellow Ajah episode, Snakes and Foxes. We're talking about healing.
Yeah.
Try and throw shade at me.
Oof.
Hi.
Oh, Yellow Ajah.
Hello, Madam Yellow Ajah. Is that the poster child for the Yellow Ajah? I don't think it is.
No. She'd be in a green bikini and it'd be the poster child for the greens. The Yellow Ajah would definitely just be like a regular, just a nurse in just a green nurse outfit, like not even a sexy nurse outfit. It'd just be a regular like yellow nurse outfit.
There's the poster child for the Yellow Ajah and the Black Tower.
Actually, I'm not sure. I think that the green Ajah, the poster child for the green, might actually be completely naked with green ribbons.
Ooh,
like that sounds like a green Ajah thing.
Here, let me throw one more tangent in here before we wrap this up, because I think this one will be a fun
that's
one.
green Ajah right there. I'm in.
So it says here in the article that
motherfucker.
Mead Mistress coming in clutch.
Great success.
Also an accurate representation of the Black Tower. Okay. So
that is the Black Tower.
Do we have to wear mankinis at JordanCon now? I feel like we get kicked out.
Are you Green Ajah?
Well, the Green Ajah wants us to.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you can't wear a mankini as another Ajah. I'm just saying, is yours going to be green?
Black, of course. Come on. All right.
We got to figure out what the Ajah colors for the Black Tower are, and then get some mankinis.
Oh, that's right. I feel like
no, we're not doing that today.
Oh, we're not doing that right. That'll be
this
a
is
piece
a Yellow
of
Ajah
candy.
episode. We'll go ahead and do it at some other point, but
that'll be a piece of Watt candy that you will be able to find in our pre-recordings. And if you want to listen to our pre-recordings, you do have to be a Patreon. So
correct. Or on occasion, actually, no, that wasn't a pre-recording. That was a live episode.
Yeah, on occasion.
We don't do any free pre-recordings. No, you got to pay for that.
You got to pay to play.
We do on very rare occasion do public episodes.
That's true.
Live public episodes, but God,
I was actually going to say,
created a monster.
With one last tangent, are talents like character stat charts, right? So like if I've got a talent in healing, because it says here that Dahmer Flynn has almost no ability with traveling, right?
Yes.
So are talents connected? Can you only have one talent? If you have one talent, does that guarantee that you're going to be super bad at something else? Or is that just like a general format of how things go with a person's capabilities and makeup?
Personally that it's a lot like actual human beings, and that some people are actually just really good at a stupid number of things, and some people are just really bad at everything. But
depressing, but yes,
more often than not, every person, or maybe not every person, but the vast majority of people have some specific thing that they're like extra good at, and then everything else they're just normal good at or bad at, depending on where they fall.
I can see that.
And that there is nothing that specifically stops anyone from having 75 different talents. It's just such a roll of the dice to get one in the first place that having any more than one just gets so unlikely, probability-wise.
I can see that.
That would be my take.
That makes sense. I mean, if we're going to talk about talent as a capital T, yeah, that would just be something that would be like having blonde hair or red hair or being 6 foot tall or being 5 foot tall.
And again, I'm not saying that
intrinsically
you can't do anything about that at all, because I think that people who actually use it more regularly, actually, no, I would say that capital T talents are probably just that. But lowercase talents, I definitely think those can also be worked on. Capital T talents, I think, just happen. Because like throughout the story, you don't get to you don't get to make the decision when you have a foretelling. It just happens or it doesn't, and you just fucking deal with it. But like,
well, yeah. No, that's an interesting. I think when we talk about like the uppercase talents, uppercase T, yeah, I think you're right. Very few of that would be able to present itself in a format like healing.
Yeah.
Very little of that.
Correct. So getting it a little bit back to the Yellow Ajah, I actually have a handful of questions. Actually, it's one question that has possibly a handful of answers.
I'm in. Give me all.
So I don't think that we necessarily did this with the other Ajahs that we've gone into, but especially now that we've done we've done a few of these. What does a yellow blue Ajah sister look like? What does a yellow green Ajah sister look like? What does you know what I mean? Where like again, Cadswain definitely says a few times that she like sort of missed her calling being of another Ajah, but in the end, she is actually the Ajah she is at heart. What do you think? What does
so
what do like I definitely want to be yellow at my core, but like also have a lot of like this other Ajah in me look like.
If we're going to start talking about Ajah as a character class, and we're going to start going,
what are the doing
some multi-classing. Yeah. I'm going to say that a yellow green multi-class Aes Sedai is going to be your monk, but with a flair of wizard, right? So like they know all the physical attacks to incapacitate the human body, but they're not going to do it physically. They're going to do it with the power. So okay. So you won't have like 100 strikes kung fu with the body blows, you'll have, the Naruto hand signs.
Yes.
No, you'll have the weaves doing the work for them, right? You can have someone who's in a state of combat who's going to attack precise nerve points and or blood points in order to end the conflict quickly, because they also understand, because not only do they understand the human anatomy, but they also understand combat and to end combat quickly as possible. Your yellow blue multi-class, that's going to be your Doctors Without Borders right there. Boom. 100% Doctors Without Borders.
I like that.
Yellow brown multi-class, that's going to be your medical researchers, right? That's going to be those. They will study historical studies, they will do that, but they're also conducting their own research into the future as well. And plenty of Brown Ajah sisters conducted plenty of research. Oh, yeah, and I can't argue with that one.
Yellow White is an insurance company.
Yellow White multi-class is an insurance company. Son of a bitch.
Just yellow bureaucracy.
Oh no. Wait. Yellow bureaucracy is yellow gray. That's your hospital administrators. And don't kill me, Gray Ajah sitter. Those are your hospital administrators. Those are your medical managers, that your program managers in the medical field. Those are the people that are running the hospital, because at the end of the day, guys, a hospital, they got to pay bills too. So they need to understand business side.
Actually, you know what? I actually think that that yellow gray, yes, hospital administrators. I think that yellow white, not insurance company. You know what they are? They're the EMTs in a disaster. They're the ones walking around being like, you can't be saved. You are being
they're
saved.
triage medics.
Triage medics. Yes.
Oh,
yep.
That's a good one. Because that's a
very logical,
tough place
just
to be.
Extreme logic.
You have to be able to, and you hear accounts of like combat medics and triage medics all the time that have to make the hard call of who is savable, and who can we give some morphine to ease their passing. Ooh, I like that. And, oh no, snakes and foxes.
No, we're not talking about that.
I don't have a good multi-class for yellow red. No.
So we've done.
But the problem is that's so good.
Yeah. I feel like yellow green also is like two different facets. Like there's definitely the nurses that have like 12 warders and just very sexual healing and very like as just yikes as possible. And then there's just like the combat medics who are just like extremely like they're battle Ajah, not sexy Ajah. And there's just like, yeah.
There you go. Yellow red is proctology, specifically men's health.
Yes. Men's health, exactly.
What Ajah did we miss? What else is there?
We did red or yellow blue, yellow green, yellow red, yellow white, yellow brown, yellow gray.
We got them all.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, we got them all on the first try.
I like it.
I think we should quit while we're ahead. What do you think?
Yellow black. That's the Bumblebee Ajah.
Oh shit.
We already did talk about that actually.
We kind of did talk about that. They're interrogators.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%.
That's your interrogator Ajah right there.
And true yellow, I feel like is just straight heal.
Yep.
Very much
Mercy.
just
You should have
they
picked
are the
Mercy.
surgeons.
That's your support character.
Yep. Got me begging you for mercy.
Chesmal fucking Emery.
Why won't you release me?
All right. Well, hey, my cup is empty. You know
Sounds
what
like a
that
you
means.
problem.
It means two things. It means one, I need a refill. It also means two, that your dose of taint has been successfully dispensed. So I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are awesome. We really do appreciate you. We really do appreciate your patronage. And even if you're not a patron, we appreciate you listening to the episode.
That is patronage, even if it's not Patreonage.
And that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
We appreciate you liking the video, subscribing to the channel. You guys are awesome. Seriously, thank you so much. If we missed something about the Yellow Ajah that you want to hear more about, leave a comment below and let us know. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Real quick before we go, I just want to say my last thoughts about the Yellow Ajah.
Oh, we should do last thoughts.
Yeah.
I jumped the gun.
I am a big fan. I don't necessarily agree with them that they're the only Ajah with a purpose, but I will absolutely say without a doubt that they are the Ajah with one of the most important purposes.
Yes.
I will say I have always been a little disappointed, not in Robert Jordan's writing of them because it makes sense, but in the lack of mental healing that they do, which again makes a lot of sense, but doesn't mean I have to like it. And I've always been a little disappointed with their, not just their inability, because it's not that they necessarily seem like they can't treat mental health. It just seems like something they're not interested in.
Right.
And I get it. I'm certainly not saying that mental health is not hard, and that it's not very nuanced, and that is not something that Robert Jordan didn't want to go into even a little.
He was.
But at the same time, I definitely, part of me wishes it was part of the story. That at least it would be that someone tried. Not necessarily that they succeeded, but that at least somebody made an attempt. And I definitely feel like, with the exception of Nynaeve and Madness, there's very little attempt at all to sort of mental health help anybody. But other than that, I definitely, most yellows I like overall, and there are definitely some who I'm big fan of, including obviously our girl Nynaeve. Definitely one of the Ajahs that I like their purpose overall a lot. Just wish that in the books it had done a little bit with mental health.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh? What do you got?
So final thoughts on the Yellow Ajah. I do find it interesting that they are the only Ajah with a purpose or specialty that allows them to practice with the one power on the daily basis. I find that fascinating. I've never thought about that before. I love it. I do love how, with this much, experience with the one power, they still miss it. They still miss mental health. They still miss, healing with all 5 of the weaves of the flows. But they're so interesting, and to they talk about Saruman in Lord of the Rings as being an illustration of what can happen when the good guy flips and becomes the bad guy, and how it's so tragic, and how it's so painful and hurtful to the cause of, all that is good. You've got a real opportunity here, and there's a really beautiful, brilliant storytelling mechanism in Yellow Ajah, or even with the Forsaken, two of them being healers.
Yeah.
Switching to the shadow, and it's a terrifying thing.
Did you just call Grandal and Semirog switches?
Yeah, I did. That means all the Forsaken are switches, technically.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Woo!
accurate.
Hey, learning new things. North Harbor.
I feel like some of them are like more light switches, and some of them are more heavy switches, though.
Agree there.
Asmodean feels like a heavy switch.
Dude, Asmodean's like, what do you need? You tell me what you need, girl, boy, whoever. I don't care.
Right?
Asmodean's all over the place, man. So, yeah, so Yellow Ajah, man, they're great. Final thoughts. That's awesome. They're awesome. You're awesome. We're awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Thank you for taking in your dose of taint, and we hope that as you've listened, that you're just a little bit more insane than you were when you first started this episode. So from all of us at the Black Tower, thank you so much for tuning in. I have been Josh, your Sorvan Mahale.
Your Bajan Mahale Andrew is here in spirit and having, I hope, a great time on Wheel and Chill.
Yeah, go check him out. Well, for those of you listening live, go check him out right now.
Indeed. And if you don't know me, I am unfortunately also still part of this podcast. And I have been Daniel, your Amin Khan Mahale. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. We love you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That is not just a rote response. It is truly felt every goddamn week.
Facts.
And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Whatever our topic is then. I don't know why I went to go look it up. We've never told you what topic we're talking about next week. But hey, I don't know. Maybe we'll start a thing. Whatever. But from all of us here at the Black Tower, thank you for being here. We hope that you are having an amazing morning. We hope that you're getting everything out of it that you are hoping for. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
You've been having so much trouble just fitting